The film was really memorable, very intense, some really, really good scenes that will stick with me, I think, forever. It was one of those movies that you were totally engrossed in and totally engaged in, and yeah, you watched from start to finish with eyes glued to it, and that's usually a good sign for me.
I thought it was a brilliant film, totally thought-provoking, just something that you'd be thinking about for the next couple of days. Definitely a film to watch. I liked it. I thought it made Dublin look, as you were saying before, murky, but at the same time beautiful, you know. So, and it's a reality, and it's a real good feeling about Dublin, to be honest with you.
And the music score.
Beautiful. I think that kind of held the whole thing together, kind of threaded the whole way through the film. But yeah, no, I loved the music. It was a very impressive film overall.
Yeah, actually, I've been telling people about the film and sort of saying, you know how, you know, we see people at work and we see them from a work perspective, but there's always another side to a person, you know, that their work colleagues are never going to see, and I think this film's quite good in that respect.
Like, you can go to the movies and you can watch films and it's just it's trivia. This one makes a statement and it says something and it makes you think. And I think the sequel would be good to see what happened to those four characters. Like, I mean, it's something that it's not just a movie to sit down and watches over you. It's something that you become engaged with, and it makes you think.
Well, in terms of 8.5 hours, I think it's a fine picture. But more importantly, I'm very impressed that Brian Lally, the director, managed to get a film made, and more importantly, get a film distributed. Now, what the film, some critics have said it's got its faults, it's got its failings. That's critics, that's entirely up to them. We won't mention who they are. But it's hugely admired that a man like Brian can get a film out there. Now, in terms of IT, the crowd here tonight was an IT audience. They loved it. They were big fans.
I thought it was good to have lots of different stories. You got a real sense of feeling from the different people there. And you had sympathy with some, and I know other people's sympathy were probably with Frank, the baldy-headed guy. My sympathy was actually with Rachel. She desperately wanted that apartment. We all sat here and knew how wrong she was to desperately want that apartment. But you can't help it. If you desperately want that apartment, you got to have that apartment, and there's no two ways about it.
But I sympathise with the characters mostly. I loved it. It was very, very good.
I thought the music score worked very well. I thought it worked very well. It's very understated. It swelled at the right moments. It worked dramatically. It underscored certain scenes in the film. Yeah, I thought it worked very well.
I thought it was an absolutely fantastic film. Really engaged right from the start, and the last film really leaves. The last scene just leaves you absolutely reeling. I was stunned. Was not expecting that, and I was watching. I was waiting to see what was going to happen, and just the way it kind of turned out, it was stunning.
And do you think it sort of told a little bit of a story of the Celtic Tiger?
It did. The funny thing was that the film, one of my favourite films of all time, is actually Wall Street, and it reminded me of Wall Street with the kind of the whole, you know, based around an office. But there was also, Wall Street was an era where you had the whole, you know, the yuppie scene, the excess of the stockbroker era, and this was a kind of a similar kind of, it evoked that memory for me.